windmill on Miller Road still turns above the field, just like it did back in '98 when life felt strong and real. Dad would wake before the sunrise, coffee in his hand, and I'd ride shotgun in that tractor across the Kansas land. We talked about the weather and the price of grain that year. He'd never spoke in big words, but somehow everything was clear. Said, son, a man ain't measured by the money that he makes. It's the promises he keeps and the burdens that he takes. I was 19 when I left that town, chasing city lights. Thought the Great Plains were too small for the dreams inside my mind. Built a business in Missouri, bought a house and wore a tie. But success can feel like failure when your roots are running dry. Then one cold November morning, my sister called in tears, said, you better come on home now, Dad's been fighting hard for years. I stared out at that office glass and watched the traffic flow, and for the first time in forever I knew exactly where to go. So I drove through the midnight rain, past every mile of pride and pain, back to the fields where I learned my name, where the wind still sings across the plains. That old windmill keeps turning slow like the hands of time I used to know. And every lesson that my father gave still stands like steel above the waves. The hospital room was quiet when I walked through the door. He looked smaller than I'd ever seen, but his eyes were strong once more. He smiled and said, you made it, son, then pointed through the glass toward the winter fields outside where the snow was falling fast. We didn't talk about regrets or all the years gone by, just watched the clouds move over Kansas. Beneath the fading sky, he squeezed my hand and whispered low, the farm will need your care. And in that simple moment, I knew my future waited there. So I drove through the midnight rain, past every mile of pride and pain, back to the fields where I learned my name, where the wind still sings across the plains. That old windmill keeps turning slow like the hands of time I used to know. And every lesson that my father gave still stands like steel above the waves. Spring came early that next year, the wheat rose tall and green. Sometimes I still hear his voice carried on the prairie breeze. And when the sunset paints the sky in shades of gold and red, I tip my hat toward Miller Road and thank the man who led. Now I walk those fields at dawn, though the years keep moving on. The windmill turns above the land like my father's weathered hands. Every season comes and goes, every child eventually knows the richest things we'll ever own are the people who call us home. That old windmill keeps turning slow, and every time I see blow. I know the roots I almost lost were worth far more than what they cost. There's a forgotten mine in town, tucked deep in Colorado hills, where the railway quit running and the clocks all learned to stand still. Most folks packed their lives in boxes when the silver dried away, but old Walter Green stayed behind and watched the years decay. Every evening at sundown, he'd walk the empty street, past the boarded up hotel and the church without a priest. Then he'd climb the ridge above town, where the cold winds always blew, and light a lantern by the tracks like he'd done his whole life through. The story went that 40 years ago, his young son disappeared on a snowstorm night in January, the worst they'd seen in years. The boy had left to catch a train and never made it there. Nobody found no final words, just questions in the mountain air. People called it foolish hope, a wound that wouldn't heal, but Walter never missed a night, no matter how he'd feel. Through blizzards, floods, and summer heat, through every passing year, that lantern kept on burning bright for someone who might appear. And the last lantern in Black Creek still shines where the old rails meet, like a promise made that never broke, like a prayer rising through the smoke. When the whole world says let go, some hearts refuse to lose their hope, so the last lantern in Black Creek burns for the one who never came home. And one October evening, when the aspens turned to gold, a stranger stepped off a freight train, looking tired, gray and old. He stood beneath that lantern light with tears upon his face, and stared toward the silent town like he recognized the place. Walter heard the footsteps coming down the gravel road. At first he thought the mountain wind was playing tricks again, but when the stranger softly said, "Dad, it's finally me," 40 years of sorrow broke like rain into the sea. And the last lantern in Black Creek still shines where the old rails meet, like a promise made that never broke, like a prayer rising through the smoke. When the whole world says let go, some hearts refuse to lose their hope, and the last lantern in Black Creek burned long enough to bring him home. No one ever learned the whole story, taken him away. Some mysteries belong to heaven, and some are better left that way. But every soul in that old town still talks about that autumn night when hope outlived the hands of time and faith outshined the dark. Now the lantern's gone from Black Creek, the tracks lie quiet in their sleep, but the legend travels mountain winds through every valley, ridge and stream, that sometimes love keeps waiting long after reason says it's done, and sometimes one small light can guide a lost heart safely home. Yeah, sometimes one small light can guide a lost heart safely home.
Miles outside of Tucson, my old Chevy coughed and died on a lonely stretch of desert highway, under 100 miles of sky. The radio faded into static, the sun sank red behind the hills. I kicked the tire and laughed at my luck as the evening air turned still. Then a dusty Jeep pulled off the shoulder. A woman stepped out with a smile. She said, "Looks like that truck's had enough. Mind if I stay a while?" She knew engines better than I did, had grease stains on her hands. And while we worked beneath that fading light, I forgot all my broken plans. Like Arizona rain in July, you showed up when the earth was dry. Out of nowhere, cool and wild, changing everything in a little while. I spent years chasing distant dreams, looking for what I thought I needed. But love rolled in with desert clouds, like Arizona rain. We found a roadside cafe open late, just past an old gas station sign. Talked until the waitress stacked the chairs and the stars took over the night. She told me she'd been running too from a life that didn't fit. Funny how two strangers on a highway can find exactly what they missed. Like Arizona rain in July, you showed up when the earth was dry. Out dreams, looking for what I thought I needed. But love rolled in with desert clouds like Arizona rain. The next morning brought a thunderstorm, dark clouds drifting across the plain. She laughed and pointed at the horizon, said, guess somebody knows our names. And for the first time in a long, long while, I wasn't in a hurry to leave. Like Arizona rain in July, you turned a dead-end road into a new life, a broken truck into a story, and a lonely heart into something alive. Now every summer when the monsoons roll and thunder echoes through the canyons again, I thank the heavens for that desert road and the day you came. Like Arizona rain. Yeah, some blessings don't fall twice, but one good storm can change your life.
In the corner of Gate 12 at Nashville International sat an old upright piano, worn smooth from years of travelers' hands. Businessmen, young dreamers, soldiers heading overseas would stop and play a song or two before disappearing with the breeze. Most folks walked right past it, chasing flights and deadlines fast, never knowing every scratch upon that wood belonged to someone's past. But every Tuesday just past noon, an old man took that seat and played melodies so beautiful the whole terminal grew still. Nobody knew his story much, except he wore a faded cap and carried a photograph folded in his jacket flap. One afternoon I missed my flight and wound up listening near when he started playing Amazing Grace. I noticed tears. After the crowd had drifted off, I finally asked his name. He smiled and said, I'm Walter, music's why I came. Then he pointed to the photograph he'd carried all those years, a young woman at that same piano, smiling ear to ear. At the piano at Gate 12, time slows down for a little while. Strangers become stories, and sorrow learns to smile. Every note carries somebody, every chord recalls a name, and for a few sweet minutes, we're all travelers just the same. He told me back in '89 his wife sang in local bars before cancer took her voice and left silence where songs are. On her final day,
She made him promise through the pain, don't let the music leave this world when I can't sing again. So every Tuesday for 20 years he'd come and keep that vow, playing her favorite songs for people rushing through somehow. And nobody realized the reason behind those melodies until a reporter shared the story nationwide one week. At the piano at gate 12, time slows down for a little while. Strangers become stories and sorrow learns to smile. Every note carries somebody, every chord recalls a name, and for a few sweet minutes we're all travelers just the same. The next Tuesday something happened no one there could have planned. 100 people gathered round, singing softly hand in hand. Flight crews, kids and weary strangers filled the terminal with sound, and Walter sat there crying as his wife's favorite song echoed around. Now the piano at gate 12 still stands beneath those airport lights, and every Tuesday people gather before their flights take flight. Some come for the music, some come for the story told, but everyone leaves remembering that love can outlive growing old. Yeah, the piano at gate 12 still keeps her song alive.
There's a pair of work boots hanging from the old water tower just outside a town called Red Oak, Oklahoma. Faded leather, cracked and worn, swinging in the prairie wind since before I was born. As a kid, I'd ask my daddy every time we'd drive by, why's nobody taking those boots down from the sky? He'd just grin and say, one day you'll understand. Then he'd shift that old truck into gear and head across the land. Years later at 17, I learned the story true about a man named Caleb Ross that only old-timers knew. He worked every ranch for 50 miles around, fixing fences after storms when they came crashing down. One summer brought a wild file racing through the plains, the kind that turns the daylight orange and makes grown men pray. When the flames jumped Miller Creek and headed straight for town, Caleb stayed behind to help while everybody else got out. And those shoes by the water tower still dance with the Oklahoma wind, like a reminder of a man who gave more than he had to give. Some folks leave behind a fortune, some leave a fame
volunteers, digging lines and moving cattle through smoke and fear. The fight finally turned away just north of County Road 9, and every family made it out with a little luck and time. The next morning when the danger passed and the sky turned blue, the town gathered at the diner trying to figure out what to do. The mayor climbed a ladder with Caleb standing near and tied those old work boots high above the water tower's fear. Now those shoes by the water tower still dance with the Oklahoma wind, like a reminder of a man who gave more than he had to give. Some folks leave behind a fortune, some leave a famous name, but some leave a town still standing, and that ain't a small thing. Caleb never liked attention, never made a speech or boast, said I only did what anybody would have done. But everyone knew better, 'cause when fear was running wild, he chose to stay and fight, while others ran for miles. So the shoes by the water tower still catch the evening sun, watching over fields of wheat and children out having fun. And every new generation asks why they're hanging there. Then somebody tells the story, and Caleb's still with us somewhere. Yeah, those shoes by the water tower still dance in the prairie air.
On Cedar Street in Arkansas stood a little yellow house where Miss Ruth sat every evening when the sun was going down. She'd stitch this beside the front porch swing with a basket at her feet, adding patches to a quilt nobody had ever seen complete. Some came from a soldier's jacket, some from a baby dress, some from church choir robes worn on Sundays at their best. Every scrap had someone's story, some between the seams, like a map of all the lives that built that little community. For 30 years folks dropped off pieces of their past, a work shirt from the sawmill, a ribbon from a graduation cap. But nobody really knew what Ruth intended it to be, but she'd smile and say, "You'll understand eventually." Then one April night, a fire swept through downtown fast. The feed store, bank, and barber shop and disappeared in ash. The town hall burned to the foundation, records lost in smoke, and with them went a century of stories people hoped they'd always hold. That's when she brought out the quilt on Cedar Street, spread it wide for everyone to see. Every patch of name, every thread of memory, every color telling where we've been. When the photographs were gone, when the old records disappeared, became the history. We thought we'd lost that year. The mayor stood there speechless as she laid it on the floor. More than 2,000 pieces stitched from door to door. Children found their grandparents, old friends found younger days, entire generations hidden in the fabric she'd saved. There was a square from the first schoolhouse, built in 1932, a piece from a wedding tablecloth everybody knew. And when folks saw their stories there, something changed inside. They realized the town ain't buildings, it's the people tied together through time. That's what lived inside the quilt on Cedar Street. Every laugh and every defeat, every harvest, every storm, every dream, woven into something bigger than a single memory. When the photographs were gone, when the old records disappeared, that quilt became the history. We thought we lost that year. Miss Ruth passed away that winter at 94 years old. But before she left, she wrote a note, folded careful in the quilt's old folds. It said, the strongest threads are people, the cloth is only cloth. Take care of one another, and you'll never truly be lost. Now the quilt hangs in a museum built where the old town hall once stood, and school kids stop and stare a while, like every generation should. They see more than scraps of fabric, more than colors stitched with care. They see the heart of a small town story still hanging there. Yeah, the quilt on Cedar Street still holds us all together. There was a foreclosure sign nailed to the gate, 5 rocky acres just outside Cheyenne. The barn leaned hard to the west wind, and the fences barely stood again. Everybody said, boy, don't buy that place, you'll spend your whole life chasing repairs. But I saw a porch where kids could laugh, and a future hanging in the air. I worked double shifts through the winter months, loaded feed and fixed old rigs. Every paycheck stretched like barbed wire, trying to make enough for little things. My wife planted flowers by the mailbox, though the ground was stubborn clay. She'd smile and say, give it some time, good things grow that way. All we had was 5 acres and a dream, a little faith and a lot of gasoline. More hope than money, more grit than luck, and an old red tractor that wouldn't quit. Yeah, life wasn't easy, but it
with 5 acres and a dream. By year 5, the barn stood straight again. The pasture turned a healthy green. There were bicycles by the front porch steps and little muddy boots by the screen. One evening I watched the sunset fall with my daughter sleeping on my knee, and I realized every sacrifice had become exactly what I needed. All we had was 5 acres and a dream, a little faith and a lot of gasoline. More hope than money, more grit than luck, and an old red tractor that wouldn't quit. Yeah, life wasn't easy, but it felt right, building something under those Wyoming skies. Sometimes a man gets richer than he seems with 5 acres and a dream. World keeps telling you bigger is better, more land, more money, more things to own. But peace don't care about square footage. Sometimes it lives where love has grown. Yeah, we started with 5 acres and a dream. Now every board and field means something to me. Every scar on my hands, every long hard day helped build this life brick by brick. And when the stars come out above the plains and the porch light glows soft and clean, I thank the Lord for everything He gave me through 5 acres and a dream. Yeah, the best things I ever held in my hands were never things at all.
On a gravel road in northern Montana, where the winters cut like glass, there stood a one-room general store that somehow still managed to last. The sign was faded, the floorboards grown, the coffee pot stayed warm, and folks stopped in for more than feed whenever there was a storm. Oh, Miss Evelyn ran the place since 1979. She knew every kid, every ranch, every hard and troubled time. But what folks talked about the most was a rusty iron key hanging from a nail above the door for everybody to see. Nobody locked their houses much back when the town was young, but times changed like the weather, and trust grew harder to come by. Still that key stayed hanging there through every passing year. And if you asked Miss Evelyn why, she'd smile and say it's here. For the day somebody needs it more than pride will let them say. For the day a soul gets stranded and can't find another way, and she'd pour another coffee and go back to her routine, leaving folks to wonder for what she really meant. That's the key above the door for the lost and the worn, for the hearts carrying burdens they weren't meant
somebody leaves a light behind. Then came the blizzard of '08, worst anybody knew. White walls of snow swallowed fences, trucks, and every familiar view. A ranch hand named Gill got caught 30 miles from town. His engine quit, his radio died, and the temperature kept dropping down. By pure luck he found the store near midnight in the storm. The windows dark, the streets deserted, not another soul around. But there beside the entrance, hanging where it always had been, was that rusty iron key and a note tucked underneath. It said, if you're reading this tonight, come inside and get warm. There's soup in the freezer, blankets in the back room. Pay it forward when you can. That's the key above the door, for the lost and the worn, for the hearts carrying burdens they weren't meant to carry alone. When the road gets dark and lonely, when hope gets hard to find, there's still a place in this world where somebody leaves a light behind. The next spring folks gathered round and asked Miss Evelyn why. She said, my daddy taught me something before the day he died. He said, kindness ain't kindness if it waits for recognition. The best things people do are usually done unseen. Now the key above the door still hangs where it hung before, and travelers tell stories about what that little town stands for. Not the mountains or the cattle, not the rivers running wide, but the simple faith that somebody will help you through the night. Yeah, the key above the door still leaves a light behind.
Bought an old farmhouse outside of Lexington, white paint peeling off porch, leaning toward the sun. The realtor said it's been empty near 30 years or more, the kind of place where memories still creep through every floor. I spend my Saturdays fixing boards and patching cracks, pulling down old wallpaper nobody wanted back. Then one rainy afternoon, behind a bedroom wall, I found a faded envelope that looked like it survived it all. The paper smelled of dust and time, the ink was turning brown. It started to, whoever finds this, if this house is still around. It was written by a farmer's wife in 1953 to a child she was carrying but knew she'd never see. She wrote about the dog they had, the willow by the creek, how his father sang while working and prayed before he'd sleep.
She said if life gets hard someday, don't let bitterness take root. The strongest hearts are often grown where storms have passed on through. And I read every word by the light of a lamp, like a voice reaching out through the years and the dust, from a woman I never know, in a world long gone away, still finding a way to say, hold on to the people you love, don't wait too long to speak, 'cause time keeps moving like a river, and tomorrow ain't guaranteed. I couldn't stop thinking about that letter for days, so I started digging through records, old archives and names. Turns out she passed that same year, before her son was born. And he grew up in that farmhouse where she never saw him grow. The boy became a teacher and lived into his 80s, raised 3 daughters of his own, and left behind a family. I tracked one granddaughter down in Bowling Green one night, and when she read her grandmother's words, she broke down and cried. She read every word by the light of her phone, like a hand reaching out from a place she'd never known, from a woman she'd only seen in a picture on the wall, still answering a call to hold on to the people you love, don't wait too long to speak, 'cause time keeps moving like a river, and tomorrow ain't guaranteed. There's 100 ways to leave your mark, most of them won't make the news. Sometimes forever starts with paper and the truth you choose to leave behind. The house still stands beside the willow, the creek still runs the same, and now that letter rests inside a frame where no one will forget her name. Yeah, keep those words beside the door where I can read them when life gets hard, a reminder that we're all connected by the stories in our hearts. And long after these walls are gone, long after I'm gone too, maybe somebody else will find a piece of hope hidden in the things we leave behind. Yeah, a piece of hope hidden in the things we leave behind.
Morning fog was hanging low on the Blue Ridge line. An old red barn stood crooked where we spent our younger time. I rode through town on Highway 221, past the diner by the courthouse where my story had begun. Mama's porch light faded in my rear view years ago. chasing bigger dreams through cities that never felt like home. I traded mountain sunsets for a skyline made of steel, but every mile I wandered left a wound that wouldn't heal. I worked the night shift winters in the cold Tennessee rain, carried more regrets than dollars, riding freight trains through the pain. Then a letter from my brother showed up worn and stained with age. Said, "Dad still leaves your fishing pole beside the river every day." I stopped beside an overlook as daylight slipped away, watched the mountains turn to shadows, and I heard my conscience say, "Some roads are meant for leaving, some are meant to bring you back." And I finally turned the wheel toward the life I used to have. I'm coming back to the Blue Ridge Hills, to the church bells ringing and the whippoorwills, to the front porch stories and the river bend, where the hard times broke me and the healing began. Every wrong turn led me where I needed to go, through the storm, through the heartache, through the winding roads. Now the mountains call my name like they always will. I'm coming back, I'm coming back to the Blue Ridge Hills. Dad was standing by the mailbox when I pulled into the drive. A little older, a little slower, but the fire was still alive. He didn't say much when he hugged me in the fading evening light. Some things don't need explaining when you've been gone half your life. Mama said an extra plate and laughed the way she used to do. The radio was playing old songs drifting through the room. And for the first time in forever, I felt the weight release, like the mountains wrapped around me and handed back my peace. I'm coming back to the Blue Ridge Hills, to the church bells ringing and the whippoorwills, to the front porch stories and the river bend, where the hard times broke me and the healing began. Every wrong turn led me where I needed to go, through the storm, through the heartache, through the winding roads. Now the mountains call my name like they always will. I'm coming back, I'm coming back to the Blue Ridge Hills. You can spend your whole life running from the boy you used to be, but the roots beneath your footsteps grow deeper than you see. And when the world gets heavy and the highway loses light, home is more than a place, it's the reason you survive. I'm finally back in the Blue Ridge Hills, where the sunrise paints the valleys and the time stands still, with my family beside me and the river rolling slow. There's a kind of peace you'll never find out on your own. Every long
they always will. I'm finally home. I'm finally home in the Blue Ridge Hills.
Murphy's Cafe off Route 66. There's a chair by the window, table 6. Every morning at 7, the coffee gets poured, even though nobody walks through that door. Old Joe runs the place like he always has. Wipes down the counter, checks the gas. And right beside the jukebox, glowing blue, sits a plate nobody ever moves. Back in 2005, a young Marine named Ben, he used to stop by every Friday with his friends. He'd order chicken fried steak and peach pie too, leave $1 in the jar before he flew. Then one spring he shipped overseas, promised his mama he'd be home by Christmas Eve. But fate had different plans that year, and the whole town learned the meaning of fear. So the empty chair at table 6 still waits where he used to sit, beside the window facing west, toward the sunset he loved best. And every soul who walks inside knows the reason why some heroes leave this world too soon, but they never really say goodbye. Years rolled by like freight trains in the night. Kids grew up and the town changed with time. The old gas station closed, the hardware store moved on, but that chair stayed right where it belonged. Then one July afternoon, a little boy asked why his grandpa always tipped his hat when he walked by. The old man smiled and pulled up a seat and told a story every child should keep, about the empty chair at table 6, still waiting where he used to sit, beside the window facing west, toward the sunset he loved best. And every soul who walks inside knows the reason why some heroes leave this world too soon, but they never really say goodbye. No statue stands in that small town square, no headlines carry his name anymore, but sometimes the strongest monuments are the ones behind ordinary doors. A cup of coffee, a faded photo, a place nobody dares replace, because memory lives a little longer when love is given space.
And the empty chair at table 6 still waits where he used to sit, while the morning sun spills through the glass. And another year quietly passes. New faces come, old faces go. That's how life unfolds. But every heart that learns his story carries a piece of him forward. Yeah, the empty chair at table 6 ain't empty after all.
Grandpa's toolbox sat untouched for nearly 5 long years in the corner of the garage, collecting dust and memories. Rusty wrenches, bent up nails, receipts from '72, and 100 little pieces of a life nobody knew. One Saturday in early spring, I finally opened it, just looking for a socket set to fix a fancy bit. But underneath the bottom tray, folded tight and worn, was a hand-drawn map on yellow paper, weathered, stained, and torn. Across the top it simply said, "For whoever finds this first," and listed roads through Missouri in a dozen little towns, with circles drawn around old places I had never heard him name, and one short note beside the edge that only said, "Take the trip someday." So I loaded up my pickup and headed down the line, following that faded map, one county road at a time. The first stop was an old diner where a waitress smiled and said, "Your granddad used to stop right here every Thursday before dawn." And that map in Grandpa's toolbox wasn't leading me to gold, it was leading me through stories that had never been told. Every turn revealed a chapter, every mile revealed a man, and I realized how little we know about the lives behind our family names. One pin led to a schoolhouse where he fixed the furnace free, another to a farmhouse where he'd helped a widow keep her wheat. There was a church in Kansas where he built a handicap ramp, and a riverbank in Iowa where he rescued a boy from the current's grasp. No newspaper had ever written a single word about those days, no medals hung upon his wall, no headlines praised his name. But town after town I met folks whose lives he'd quietly changed, and each story painted someone bigger than I ever known. Yeah, that map in Grandpa's toolbox wasn't leading me to gold, it was leading me through kindness he never stopped to show. Every stop revealed a lesson, every road revealed the truth. The strongest people often leave their greatest work unseen. The final mark was on a hillside overlooking fields of corn, where Grandpa used to watch the sunset when he felt tired and worn. There I found a small tin box buried underneath the stone. Inside was one last letter
written in his careful hand. It said, if you're reading this, remember, life ain't measured by what you own. It's measured by the people smiling because you helped them carry on. And if you ever feel forgotten or wonder what your life is worth, leave this world a little better than the day you found it first. Now that map hangs in my hallway where I see it every day, and whenever I get lost, it still shows me the way.
The auction sign went up in June beside the county road, right where my granddad carved his name in a cedar fence post. 80 years of Oklahoma dirt, 3 generations deep, was gonna leave our family when that auctioneer would speak. The drought had hit us hard that year, then harder still the next. Bank notices stacked on the table like a pile of unpaid debts. I watched my father stare across those fields of dying grain, like a captain watching helpless while his ship sank in the rain. By auction day, the whole town came, pickups lined the lane, neighbors leaning on the fences underneath the sky of gray. The tractor stood like soldiers waiting for a final call, and every tool inside that barn held memories on its walls. The auctioneer climbed on the trailer, cleared his throat and smiled, started reading numbers fast while Mama held back tears. Then from the crowd old men stepped up, folks I'd known my whole life through, and one by one they started doing something nobody expected them to do. When the auction bell rang loud that day, the town stood up instead of walking away. They bought the plows, they bought the trucks, then handed every piece right back to us. And I learned right there beneath those clouds, a man ain't rich because he's proud, he's rich because when times get rough, there's a town behind him strong enough. Mrs. Parker bought the combine that her husband used to run. The sheriff bought the cattle gates, the preacher bought a gun. Not for keeping, just for saving what we thought was gone for good. Every bid became a promise written where hope once stood. Then old Hank Wilson raised his hand for the final piece of land. Silence fell across the crowd as he made his stand. He bought the acreage outright, then turned toward my dad and said, "This farm belongs to your family. That's all that needs be said." When the auction bell rang loud that day, the town stood up instead of walking away. They bought the plows, they bought the trucks, then handed every piece right back to us. And I learned right there beneath those clouds, a man ain't rich because he's proud, he's rich because when times get rough, there's a town behind him strong enough. The rain arrived 3 days later, rolling in across the plains, like heaven heard the voices of folks feelings run deeper than roots, and when the world starts breaking, there's people that pull you through. Now every year when harvest comes and combines roll beneath the sun, I hear that auction bell again, echoing across the wind. Not as a sound of losing ground, but proof that love still gathers round. And if this farm outlives my days, I'll thank that town in 1,000 ways. Yeah, the auction bell still rings somehow in every golden harvest now. Out on the Carolina coast, where the Atlantic meets the sand, there stood a lonely lighthouse built by withered working hands. My daddy kept that beacon burning through every storm that came, while I dreamed of bigger cities and a life beyond the waves. Every night he climbed those stairs with a lantern and a key, while cargo ships crossed dark horizons far beyond the sea. He'd say a light ain't measured by how far away it shines, it's measured by the lives that helps make it home alive. At 18 I left Hatteras with a suitcase and a plan, certain there was something greater waiting for me inland. I spent 20 years in boardrooms wearing polished shoes and ties, building things that look successful through everybody's eyes. Then one winter I got a call from a number I didn't know. The keeper's house was empty now, and Dad was gone. I flew back through a freezing rain to that familiar shore, and found his boots beside the door, like he just stepped out once more. I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and it took me half a lifetime to learn where I came from. You can chase every distant skyline underneath the sun, but some lights keep guiding you long after they're gone. Through the fog and through the storms, through every road I wandered on, I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and his light still leads me home. The town was planning to close the tower by the bay. Modern systems made it obsolete, or so the experts claimed. But as I walked those spiral stairs, I saw Dad's name carved deep, beside 100 others who had kept watch over the sea. So I stood before the county board and made a different case. Said this lighthouse isn't concrete, steel and paint. It's every life that found the harbor when the ocean turned black, and somehow the whole room rose up and brought the old tower
The tallest things you'll see, sometimes they simply leave behind a reason to believe. Yeah, I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and the older that I get, the more I understand a good life ain't about the miles of money that you've won. It's about the people who become your guiding stars through the fog and through the storms. Their lessons carry on. I'm the lighthouse keeper's son, and his light still leads me home. Yes, his light still leads me home.
I saw her standing by the gas station out on Highway 84. The summer storm was rolling in, thunder shaking the store. She held a cardboard coffee cup, hair dancing in the wind, and something in that moment made the whole world slow again. I offered her a ride to town before the clouds broke loose. She laughed and said, only if you're playing something good with roots. An old country song came through, the speakers crackling low, and somewhere between two verses I forgot where I was going. We spent that Friday driving roads that barely had a name, crossing little county bridges while the sky poured down like rain. She told me about Georgia and the dreams she'd left behind. I told her how I'd built these walls, one heartbreak at a time. The windshield wipers kept the beat as evening settled in, and every mile beside her felt like a place I'd never been. Not because the road was new, but because she made it shine like sunlight breaking through a storm I'd carried for a long time. Now every time the rain comes down, I hear her laughing through this town, like a melody drifting from an old FM, and I fall in love all over again. She turned gray skies into gold somehow, made forever feel like right now. Every drop that hits this roof tonight still whispers her name in the rain outside. 3 years later by the river where the willow shadows sway, I got down on one knee at sunset as the daylight slipped away. She cried before I asked the question, said yes before I spoke, and the river carried echoes through the Tennessee smoke. Now there's a photograph beside our bed from that summer stormy day, two young hearts beneath the station sign while the clouds rolled away. Sometimes life arrives so quietly you almost miss the sign. Then one unexpected moment changes everything
still thank those storm clouds rolling in for leading me right there. So let the rain keep falling down across these fields outside our town. Every drop's a memory I can't replace of the day heaven put her in my way. She turned a passing storm into a lifetime, turned a lonely road into a finish line. And every night when the thunder rolls again, I still hear her name in the rain. Yes, every night when the thunder rolls again, I still hear her name in the rain.
There was a man in Amarillo everybody knew by sight, riding an old green bicycle from morning until night. No fancy truck, no business sign, no ads in any paper, just a paint-stained denim jacket and a pocket full of brushes. He'd stop at farms and trailer parks, little houses off the road, painting names on rusty mailboxes where the prairie grasses grow. $10 if you had it, free if times were running tight, and somehow every mailbox looked brand new in the evening light. Nobody knew much about him except his name was Ray. He never talked about the past or where he'd come from anyway, but every Sunday after church he'd sit beneath the cottonwoods, sketching barns and windmills like nobody else could. Then one spring a tornado tore through Carson County hard, ripped roofs off homes and scattered lives across 100 yards. Families lost photographs, letters, keepsakes from the years, the kind of things that can't be fixed with lumber, nails, and tears. That's when the man who painted mailboxes picked up more than paint and steel. He started painting memories for folks trying to heal. Oh, wedding days and harvest moons, Grandpa standing by the fields, and every brushstroke seemed to say, some things survive if they're remembered still. For months he worked inside the church from sunrise until dark, turning faded snapshots into pieces of the heart. One by one the townsfolk came to see what he could do, and every painting brought back pieces of the lives they once knew. Then a reporter from Dallas came asking for his name, said the whole state's talking about these beautiful works he'd made. Ray just smiled and shook his head, said the story ain't about me, it's about helping people hold on to what they thought they'd never see. Yeah, the man who painted mailboxes picked up more than paint and steel. He started painting memories for folks trying to heal. Oh, wedding days and harvest moons, grandmas dancing in the fields, and every brushstroke seemed to say, some things survive if they're remembered still. When autumn came, he disappeared just as quietly as he'd arrived. Left no address, no forwarding trail, just colors that were left behind. But in the church hall hangs a sign,
written by a child one day. Thank you for bringing back our stories, and nobody ever took it away. Now every mailbox down those roads still shines beneath the Texas sky. But what folks talk about these days ain't the names he painted on the side. It's how one stranger showed a town that healing takes more than time. And sometimes the richest people in the world leave everything behind. Yeah, sometimes the richest people in the world leave everything behind.